On One, always there.
Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, President Geingob cautions public as festive season approaches. Second-degree burn sustained due to adultery. Much disappointed with lack of unity amongst opposition parties. And SMEs receive support from government.
At the 20th COVID-19 public briefing by President Geingob at State House, he expressed concern after observing that members of the public seem to be becoming complacent to the danger and are not adhering to the prescribed health protocols. With the holiday season approaching, he announced adjustments to the public health measures and restrictions. With many having anticipated restrictive measures that could signal a lockdown in response to the surge in COVID-19 cases, the President announced that as the festive season approaches, the current measures will remain in place until the 25th of January 2021.
As we enter into the festive season and prepare to travel to different parts of the country to reunite with our loved ones, let us do so with all precaution to protect ourselves, communities, and our loved ones. The public health measures remain the most powerful weapon we have at our disposal. They need to be observed and enforced at all times. As we enjoy the festive activities during this holiday season, I caution that we must continue to observe physical distancing, maintaining hand hygiene by washing and sanitizing at all times. Also remember that wearing your mask correctly, like I have done, is mandatory. This has been a challenging year. Although we were bent, we did not break. We have remained steadfast in the eyes of the storm. The conduct of Namibians during the course of the year fills me with pride and hope for the future.
Geingob said public gatherings will remain at 200 persons and only outdoor gatherings will be allowed. Alcohol sales will be allowed until midnight.
From tomorrow, 1st of December 2020, to 25 January 2021, the following measures will apply. Public gatherings. The public gatherings will remain at 200 people. Members of the public are strongly encouraged to arrange and host all public gatherings outdoors. We are encouraged to arrange and host all public gatherings outdoors. Registers of attendees at such gatherings and events must be maintained. All non-Namibian travelers arriving in Namibia are required to present a negative COVID-19 PCR test results from the country of departure, which is not older than 72 years, 72 hours, my God. Returning Namibian citizens or holders of Namibian permanent residence or employment permits may enter the country without a COVID-19 PCR test results or with a positive result. But in cases of arrival without a COVID-19 test result, he/she will be swabbed immediately upon arrival while observing quarantine, and if the result comes out negative, they will be released from quarantine.
So far, over 14,000 cases have been reported and 151 deaths. Geingob said that WHO projected the loss of 4,000 deaths in Namibia as a result of COVID-19. He urged Namibians to adhere to public health measures as they remain key in the fight against COVID-19. Reporting for Today on One, I'm Joseph Shifene.
Every morning I leave home not knowing if it's the last time I say goodbye to my mommy. On my way to school, I see a lot of drivers who do not follow the rules of the road. Some are distracted and others make poor choices that could take my life. I stop, I look, I listen before crossing, and even encourage my friends to do the same. But do you know that if you hit me at more than 60 kilometers per hour, there is a 80% chance I don't survive. I only stand a chance if you, the driver, drives at the right speed, which is less than 40 kilometers per hour around the school area. Do the right thing and save lives.
This message was brought to you by the National Road Safety Council.
A 25-year-old Rosvita Albinus was set ablaze this weekend by her sister after she allegedly had an affair with her sister's husband. The victim's family members, who this morning petitioned the Katutura Court magistrate to no bail for the accused, say the accused allegedly called the victim from Rehoboth, where she resided, in attempts to resolve the matter. However, the accused locked the victim in her house and set her on fire.
Lioba Rugambo Albinus is the sister of the victim, Albinus Rosvita, who was set on fire on Saturday late afternoon around 4 o'clock by a lady from Freedom Land who is Judith Shikomba, that works at the Ministry of Work and Transport, and I'm not quite sure of the relationship they have with my sister. I was just called on Saturday, quickly rushed to Katutura Hospital. Your sister was set on fire. Then for me it's just to go at the hospital. To go there is to find my sister in pain, like she's really bent.
Is in a critical condition. She's not doing well. She was called to the accused house. That's where she was banned. She claimed to God speak to her, solve the issue, and apparently she didn't want the issue to spread, but it ended up in tears. And my cousin, they banned my cousin. She locked her, she poured spirit on her body, and she set her on fire. She locked her in the room and watched her burning down. My cousin screamed for help, and she didn't help her. She saw my cousin burning down. Unfortunately, it's apparently the husband that came to save my cousin from outside. For me, it seems like to be a conspiracy between the wife and the husband. There's also a third party, because they called my cousin from Rehoboth, and then she came to Windhoek and burned her in their house. It's so inhuman.
The Monica Gender-Based Violence Solution, who were in support of the victim at court, urged members of the public to refrain from engaging into violence over mundane issues.
I just wanted to advise the communities so that anything which happened, like here, people, they were just quiet, they don't want to call the police. Everybody was just quiet. Anything which is happening, the neighbors, please, we must work together so that we can help each other stop killing our people. As what we can see is happening in the society. As this case, a woman banned another woman. So we are here and so that we can support them.
The family of the accused refused to comment on the matter, and the bail application has been postponed to the 2nd of December 2020.
Keeping it cool. Tafel Lager, Namibian like you.
During an interview with Today on One, Henk Mudge, the president of the Republican Party, said that he is disappointed with the lack of unity amongst opposition leaders who competed against the ruling party in the regional council and local authority elections. According to the president of the RP party, Mudge says that he tried to convince other opposition parties not to compete against each other in constituencies, but to rather endorse one candidate who will go against the ruling party. Mudge also alleges that party leaders, such as the president of the Independent Patriots for Change, Panduleni Itula, has refused to work with other opposition parties.
The opposition parties in Namibia, it is very, very disappointing to see that even with this election, where we could have put SWAPO to bed forever with the regional councils, where I tried to convince the other political parties that we should not compete against one another in constituencies, so that we have one candidate against SWAPO. We could have taken over all the regional councils. We could have taken over the national council. But for some reason they didn't want to do it, especially Itula. He is not prepared to work with any party. He said it in public, which is, I think, politically a very immature statement to make. No opposition party in this country will, for a very long time, and not even Itula with his IPC, will for a very long time be in a position where they can go it on their own. We will need to work together, and hopefully after this election the opposition leaders will realize that. But this is unfortunately the biggest disappointment for me with this election.
For many African countries, elections where the ruling party is taken on by strong opposition parties often end in violence. According to multiple international media reports, more than 30 supporters of Uganda's youthful opposition candidate Bobi Wine have died in violent clashes between state security forces in the first days of the country's election season. Political analyst Nico Horn, during a recent interview with Today on One, praised political parties in Namibia for maintaining a conducive environment for peace and democracy during the elections, adding that Namibia is an excellent model country for democracy on the continent.
It was a wonderful example of democracy, with all these new parties, very passionate campaigns, and yet no big trouble. It's not like people were chasing each other around or making trouble at the polling stations. We don't know of any big fights, any bad cultural conduct, nothing like that. It was just people being part of a peaceful election, and I think that's a good example, not only for our neighbors, but for the rest of Africa. I'm sure there's never been a real robust election in Africa with this kind of peacefulness. So I think as Namibians we can all be very proud.
Opposition parties such as the IPC, which was only formed less than 6 months ago, and the LPM, which was formed less than 2 years ago, have taken the political arena by storm after they managed to take the lead in many of the constituencies that were traditionally under the authority of the ruling party, SWAPO.
Win free airtime with #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. WhatsApp your feedback, name and town to 081 200 6659. #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
The outgoing councillor of Windhoek East constituency, Rusa Namwea, bid farewell to her staff and constituents, and at the same occasion handed over equipment to beneficiaries of small and medium enterprises in her constituency. The councillor of the Windhoek East constituency, Rusa Namwea, handed over equipment to 9 small and medium income generating businesses. She said that the beneficiaries should utilize the equipment and make their businesses profitable to create employment for others.
As we are set to empower various projects in our area, Windhoek East constituency is carrying out, among others, income-generating activities grants in the form of materials or equipment given to community projects in order to uplift their existing small business activities every year. This grant encourages community members to embark on economically viable projects that could be sustained in the long run and to successfully become sustainable and competitive Namibian companies.
Ricky Lou Alfius, a development planner from the Commerce Regional Council, explained how one becomes a beneficiary in the income generating program, which intends to help potential small entrepreneurs to improve and increase their product capacity.
Over the years, the Regional Council, I think over the past 5 years, we've been allocating a total budget of 1.5 million per annum, which rounds to 150,000 per constituency. That means every constituency, we have 10 of them, each is given 150,000 to spend on income generating activities. However, when we come to an individual project, we are looking at funding at a minimum amount of 2,500 for the smallest business venture we can get, and a maximum of 50,000 of the biggest business venture we can get. And if your budget perhaps happens to exceed the 50,000 allocated, we then probably refer you to the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization, because our budget would not allow for the nature of activity of your business. And then I would also want to mention that the Regional Council do not give funds, hardcore cash, but rather we venture into providing the materials that you need for your business.
The beneficiaries shared their gratitude and future plans.
We pillow, cookies and biscuits are part of the enterprise. So it's a home-based company. We operate from home, but when the Windhoek East constituency advertising that we can actually apply for funding, especially equipment, we saw the opportunity to actually apply for it, because for us to produce quality products, you need the right equipment. So for us, the target is not just, to remain a, small, medium enterprise. Remember, the government is importing it's spending annually about 144 million just to import biscuits and cookies into the country. So we want to tap into that market and reduce the imports and then go national, because for us we're not going to remain small, we're going to go regional and national. If we have to go international, that is also the aim, but for now actually factory is our next step.
The councillor further thanked her office for a well-served term and urged beneficiaries to work hard to uplift their businesses, as the small-scale businesses play a vital role in the country's socio-economic development.
Imagine opening your Nedbank account anywhere, anytime by simply taking a selfie. Introducing Identity Today, a platform which enables you to open your Nedbank account, scan the Nedbank QR code with your smartphone camera, and immediately follow the instructions on the link that will open up in your web browser. Follow the simple steps to complete the account opening online form. Have your identity card or passport ready. Take a selfie and send it to us, and your new Nedbank account will be opened and confirmed in 3 minutes or less. Visit www.nedbank.com.na to shift your account to Nedbank today. Nedbank. See money differently.
In other leading stories, the Ministry of Mines and Energy has completed the fuel price review for the month of December 2020 and observed a weakening of the American dollar against the Namibia dollar on the financial market front. Additionally, the ministry has also observed minor to moderate fluctuations in the prices of petrol and diesel across the international product market. These developments, when factored into the basic fuel price calculations by the ministry, indicated that it was cheaper for the importers to bring fuel to Namibia over the course of the month of November 2020. To that end, the current review has an over-recovery of about 46 cents on petrol and about 27 cents on diesel. Due to these over-recoveries, the ministry has thus resolved to decrease the price of petrol by 30 cents per litre and that of diesel by 20 cents per litre for the month of December 2020. Therefore, the new fuel prices in Walvis Bay are 11 Namibia dollars 35 cents per litre for petrol and 11 Namibia dollars 38 cents per litre for diesel. The prices across the rest of the country will also be adjusted accordingly. These adjustments are effective from the 2nd of December 2020. The ministry further resolved to adjust the industry margin on all products for the fuel importers by 5 cents per litre from 103 cents per litre to 108 cents per litre. This adjustment is necessitated after the annual assessment of assets and income value levels for the fuel wholesale importers revealed a need for an adjustment. The adjustment is also effective on the 2nd of December 2020. The ministry urges the fuel wholesalers to reinforce the efficient use of the assets to ensure fuel price sustainability in the long term.
The city of Windhoek has announced the appointment of Levi Ileka as the Deputy Chief of the City Police and Superintendent Eliaser Iyambo to the position of Senior Superintendent of Legal Services at the law enforcement of the city effective the 1st of December. Clemens, who has worked with Ileka and Iyambo, congratulated them both. Stanley said Adam Aseb is there with many years of experience but does not complain or go to court. Najila said that he is proud of both of them. Kotaza said the appointment comes before the new leadership takes over. Tina wished them all the best. John said, why must he be the deputy and not just a chief of the city police? Jeremiah said they should ensure that no shacks are demolished in the city. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on to DN1.
Today, I'm joined by a panel of men. As per usual, we men get to talk about what we men really talk about. The program aims to make sure that what is left in the dark definitely comes to light.
I did see my father physically abusing my mother. So I didn't grow up with that I should beat a woman, because I hated what my dad did to my mom.
You know, whether this older woman does it with you, whether she, violates you, it's sort of seen that boosts your ego as a man.
Was that as a young man, I think at 17, 18, I started dating and realized that it's a very fascinating thing to have sex and so forth. So we had lots of what we called friends with benefits.
He has to listen to the information. Now, that information needs to be interpreted and then converted and that part of the brain will then absorb the information. I think it will be a huge opportunity.
What is your true purpose, and how will I commit as a leader to continue?
When you speak about the communication and how it's being received,
how do you relate to people? I mean, those respect, love, those are the crucial things before you build the solutions.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Cool air over the Clarens region expected tomorrow. The Namibia interior is sunny and warm to hot in the Clarens region. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few to isolated thunder showers in the northeast and the east at places. A fresh to strong southerly to westerly wind in the interior expected in the northeast. The coast, partly cloudy and cool with overnight fog patches, and the wind moderate to fresh southerly to southwesterly, but strong southerly at times in the south.
the light of my life. You were the day of my days, and you gave me hope in my life. You told me you'll always be there. You said you love me, that you won't leave me, that you stay with me, but now you're gone. Watch your portal, Kala Lucy. Watch you, Holenge Doka, Lala Meito, Efange Boyfe, Waya, watch you, Holenge Doka, Lala Meito, Efange Boyfe, Waya, Wabago Kumo, Wanyo, watch your portal, Kala Lucy. Watch you, Holenge Doka, Lala Meito, Efange Boyfe, Waya, watch you, Olenge Toka, Lana Me Ito, Efange Boyfe, Waya.